Hi, I'm Lori Brown. Thanks for being here. Thanks to our Patreon supporters for your monthly support of Pondercast, especially now. It means a lot to us. Please have a look at our page at patreon.com/Pondercast. We hope that our work supports you. So let's do it. Let's Pondercast. I think I am losing my mind. It feels like my mind is slipping away, like feeling a handful of sand slowly run through your fingers. Think about what you were like back in March when we were first in lockdown. Do you feel different now? Please tell me you do, because I do. I feel about 10 pounds different, yes, but it's mostly how my head has changed. Spending so much time with ourselves. I'd say we've worried our way through most of our favorite topics, and now we are into new territory. This new territory is deep and rich and complicated. Perhaps it's finally talking about race and racism out loud when it used to be a conversation that most of us tried to avoid. Or maybe it's thinking about entirely new ways that the world might work going forward. But our brains are moving into new territory, and it feels strange, trying to reinvent our own future. So we're getting down to the thoughts we'd rather not think about, the stuff at the bottom of the barrel. Now is the time for neglected thoughts. I love the idea that there is a place inside us where they hide, a kind of land of misbegotten toys in us somewhere. Where are your neglected thoughts hiding? Behind the spleen, your big toe, elbows? If you find yourself thinking strange thoughts these days, you are not alone. We are dragging everything out into the open, like cleaning out the attic or that crap we've stuffed under the stairs for 20 years. Oh, the strangeness that has come bubbling up. In the minds of geniuses, we find once more our own neglected thoughts. Ralph Waldo Emerson. That is a great quote, and lets us know that the big difference between us and genius is that genius pays close attention to neglected thoughts. So maybe it's time to take our strange thoughts more seriously. God knows we need new thoughts about the world. There is plenty about the world that needs to be new right now. So drag out your neglected ideas and shunned hopes and dreams and take a good look at them. You killed them off with neglect. Why? Because you thought they were too strange for the world? Well, guess what? When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Thank you, Hunter S. Thompson. So maybe now is the time. It certainly is weird. And we need tomorrow right now. So this episode is a collection of grounded thoughts about what it's like to be in this otherworldly headspace, dreaming about that near future we are all anxious to get to. This is Tomorrow Calling, wishing you were here. Do you remember the talking trees in The Wizard of Oz? Turned half human, they had these stick-like arms with hands, and they used them to pick their own apples and throw as Dorothy and her friends taunted them and ran away. In the film, the bark made wrinkled faces and downturned mouths, and they stood there with their arms in the bitch wing position, being angry with the world, so frustrated they couldn't move. Kind of feels like what it's like to be in lockdown, stuck in one spot, unable to move, staring out the window. But in the real world, I don't think I've ever thought of a tree as grumpy. I haven't thought of a tree as anything but entirely content. To me, they're more like Buddhas than anything else. From my place, I can see trees from my living room window, and there is one very tall tree that has become my stand-in for the world. This oak has some age and height, and glancing at it as I move through the living room, staring at it as I sit on the couch listening to music, or focusing hard on it as I sit on the floor attempting to meditate, this tree has taken on so much meaning for me. I don't know when this happened, but one day I noticed that I wasn't projecting my feelings and thoughts on it anymore. It was delivering a message back to me. How simple it could be to be in this moment, without any urge to move or run away or try to fix anything. My tree lets me feel what it's like to be still and just let life happen. How to let it all blow by like weather. My tree changes me. My tree saves me daily from myself. Can you see a tree? And will you let it in to open up your world? Lockdown has changed so many things that we thought could not be changed. Take time, for instance. That tyrannical force that had us lurching through our day to work, to the next meeting, to daycare pickup, to our morning alarm. Time was the way that we sliced up our day and our focus and attention. We operated under the urgency of time. It was time that trained us to compartmentalize our lives. Just think about work at work. Only think about the kids when you're finished work. Only allow your interior world to surface when night falls and the house is quiet. Because that was the only way we thought we would stay sane. For those of us not on the front lines, not still heading into work, time has become much softer, much less rigid. You have a meeting, you bake some banana bread, you write some emails, and then you walk your dog. You eat when you are hungry and you sleep when you are tired. And now we're finally experiencing the awkwardness of having nothing to do. That's new and not as easy as we may have thought it would be. Time, the one thing we thought of as a solid, is now a liquid. All those skills you developed to keep your life in separate boxes, work, home, kids, relationship, to pretend that the other boxes don't exist while you devote all your attention to the box you're in, well, they've all disappeared, and every part of your life has suddenly run together. Time turns liquid, and we are experiencing it all at the same time, all pooled together, and it's overwhelming. With so much uncertainty about what's next, we've temporarily lost the future. Can't make plans. Nothing to move towards. We're stuck in this never-ending present. No boundaries, no limits, no schedule, no weekends. So time feels like it's lost its meaning, which is hard because we lean on time to shape our days. And so we wallow in the endless present, watching events come and go on their own time with no urgency. If time feels like it's lost its meaning for you, that means it's up for grabs. Rewrite your day. How do you fill time with meaning? Is this a new kind of schedule that props you up in a new way? Imagine if time was on your side. This is all new. Nobody knows what they're doing. The whole world is making this up as we go along. And doing something brand new is hard. Remember the last new job you had? Remember how exhausting it was for the first few months? Taking on a new life is like learning to walk or learning a language. Everything needs your full attention. And these last how many weeks have all been filled with the new and with uncertainty. And uncertainty is exhausting. Like trying to cross a stream on stepping stones where every step feels like a risk. What we miss is everything that we did on autopilot. Those things that we know how to do so well that we don't even think about how to do it when we're doing them. Like pitching a baseball, washing a pot, riding a bike, navigating the transit system to get to work and home. Where muscle memory takes over and where our years of experience doing something take a complex task and make it easy. Nothing feels easy right now. Even grocery shopping is exhausting. Uncertainty takes away our comfort and makes us feel unsafe. And yet, uncertainty is always here. Before this pandemic, it followed you everywhere you went. Crossing the street, driving, yet it didn't stop you in your tracks. It's possible to live with uncertainty and still feel safe and still feel comfortable. We will adjust. As we learn more about the virus, we will see a new comfort level emerge, a renegotiation with uncertainty. Maybe it's already happening. Do you feel any easier on your walks than you did before? Have you developed a routine for shopping that makes you feel a little less vulnerable? Is doing your job from home easier than it was when you started? The virus is new, but uncertainty isn't. We figured out how to feel safe in an uncertain world before, and we will again. It's happening already. Living with uncertainty is not new. You've always done it. Have you been thinking that there are aspects of this lockdown that you would like to continue afterwards? Are there ways that your life have changed that actually feel good, make you realize that you really needed them, that you were missing this? Is it simply that the pace of life is slower, or is it something else? I'm starting to wonder what the new normal might be like. Are you? And can we be part of shaping what the new normal will be? We will need to speak up and articulate what we want to keep from this great pause we've all experienced. So what's important to you now? In the way that you were working, living? How do you wish the economy would restructure itself after this? Can you name what it is you want for yourself and for all of us when this is over? Can you say those things out loud? Share them with friends and family. What if we find out that most of us want the same things? We'll never know unless we say what we want out loud. Those who don't want anything to change, what does that mean? I guess it means that the system as it stands is really working for them. Ironically, I think that's probably true for the people at the bottom of the economic ladder. They have no energy to fight for a change, no belief that it's possible for them. But for all the rest of us, now is the time to prepare yourself for what you want to champion as we slowly emerge from isolation. Some changes you can make yourself without tearing down the entire system. New ways of spending time with your children, changes to the way you spend money, to the way you work, and the way you think about work. But other changes, that will involve organized work. Pick an idea that you feel strongly about and get behind it. What do we want to bring with us out of the great pause?